All right. Thank you for your patience, family. Hopefully everyone can hear me and see me. If there is a problem with the audio or video, please let us know in the chat and we will respond to everything that might be a complication or something of that nature. Last week, I did not start with reading the preamble, but I want to do the preamble. It is a requirement for everybody in ARNA to memorize the preamble and their general orders. These are in your ARNA protocol manual, which is available at the main website, www.arnagovernment.org. And you can download the entire Constitution. Copy it right here. And you can download the protocol manual. You can print those out, etc. We will have those available for official having as a book once we get our next edit in. I got somebody who's going to help me edit the protocol manual so we can get the grammatical errors and the spelling errors and some of the indigenous names that are not transliterated properly, so that everybody will have that. So you can follow along with me, or you can just remain silent as I state the preamble for ARNA. We, the people of the Aboriginal Republic of North America, asserting our natural Aboriginal rights as the oldest recorded Aboriginal Indigenous peoples of the Americas, consisting of an Aboriginal union of Indigenous peoples, living in accord with natural law, the law of our ancestors, do hereby recognize all nationals of the Aboriginal Republic of North America as a unified community, establish our divine right to self-rule, a common defense of our nation, a complete unified will for progress and prosperity by and for our people, establishing justice by way of natural law and equality and complete autonomy as a nation. All right. Thank you for your patience, family. A few announcements first. For the people who may have had issues, I took all of your names down. Some of you had tax issues, some of you had business registration issues, a few other issues surrounding nationality and whether you had all your documents, etc. On Tuesday night at 8 p.m., we'll be back on here, and how we're going to handle the tax and nationality matters is stage one, which will be Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We will go over all of the protocols for entrepreneurs or employees for tax exemption, how that is supposed to operate properly, and we'll go over the nationality process, how that's supposed to go properly. After that, you will be given instructions on how and what to gather, so when we come to you individually, you are well prepared for the engagement, because we have to make these engagements swift and efficient, because there are many, and we don't have the staff to have the ability to go through that many people, hours of consultation, and get it done efficiently in a short period of time. We want to maximize our ability to solve these situations within the next week and a half. And so by us doing a public broadcast on what things should look like, what you should have, you can mark your X's and O's and say, nope, I don't have that. Nope, I wasn't told that. Nope, blah, blah, blah. So by the time we get to you, you'll be able to elucidate all of the information clear, coherently, and we can solve the problem, whatever it may be. All right. We will be back on next Sunday. All right. Around the same time, 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And next week, we are doing Indigenous cosmology. This is our system where we really get you in a position to maximize on understanding what your individual attributes are and how you can design your purpose. And so we'll go through the school and Department of Psychology and get a few folks on with us who can help us move us through that subject next week. The following week, we'll have another PT test, basic training test, exercise program. That'll be week 5 on that Sunday. So you got 2 weeks to get yourself in shape, because we're not going to have people overweight or underweight in ARNA. We want you to have a good BMI, be in excellent health and condition, and not be misrepresenting what we stand for. We stand for health in a very holistic fashion, and we stand for the ability to govern yourself. All right, so everybody should be healthy. All right, so let's start this conversation off. This is about the etiquette of dress. This is to address all ARNA nationals. If you're IPA and you are allowed to come on, that's fine. This does not apply to you. But if you're ARNA national and you're in this conversation, then you, let me let these folk in. Then, this applies to you. All right. First, the classes of dress. We have 4 classes of dress. All right. A class, B class, C class, and D class. Okay. And those classes are for designations for events, emergencies when we have to get together, just your basic family code so you understand those codes, and other special types of events or things we might be participating in. All right, so A class is like what I have on today. Regular, laid back clothing you will wear every day, common wearing of clothing, whatever that may be for men and women. There are discussions we'll have as we go through all of these about each one. All right. B class for men is a suit and tie. There are instances where we would want to wear a suit and tie, and your local minister or someone who might be over a particular ministry, or just an announcement for headquarters to say if we having a gathering somewhere that's for a special political event or something like that, we might be required at that moment to wear a suit and tie. For women, that would be a common formal dress wear. All right, something classy, simple, and you look formal. All right. C class will be ARNA official uniforms. We have a design for uniforms for men and women, and I have a sister who has a company, and she is going to help us provide uniforms for everyone. What will the uniforms be for? They'll be for things like the summit, large public gatherings where we want to identify each other special events like the Ramadan ball. Okay. And so we'll have that ready, completed, and ready for order before the end of the rites of passage. Only people who completed the rites of passage will be able to get access to these uniforms. And the uniform colors will be black, white, and we have one that is a black, white, and red uniform. Okay, so those are the only 3 colors we have now. In the future, our plan is to take that company and to make it a franchise in the local jurisdictions, so we can have sisters that can commonly make clothes, and they can design these uniforms locally in the local jurisdictions as a means of entrepreneurialism for the sisters. Okay. And D class is military uniforms. Let's say we have a national emergency, something is going on in the greater arena of life, and we need to be dressed in accord to meet an expectation, or we might be just on a trip, might be hiking, we might be doing something of that nature, or outside at an outside gun range. Class D is military outfits, boots, proper booting, and wear that you can wear walking through the woods or hiking a mountain or something of that nature. Okay. Now, when we come to dress and the etiquette of dress, the first thing that we promote is having our own brands, if you will. So you see stuff like this. All right. Because we want to produce the clothes that we wear. General, we're working our way to that, right? And with more people going through certifications from people who have companies and or training modules to do that, that will increase. We also have to deal with the cultural expansion of weirdoisms. And what do we mean by that? We mean, yes, there are types of clothes that we absolutely do not and cannot wear in ARNA. So we sent you the rites of passage manuals for the brothers and the sisters for you to read over. That's just for your common introduction into the rites of passage. There are more extended materials than those, but those are the start. Let's start with the brothers. Cultural norms that are present in the world now that we would not participate in. You'll never see any of the men in ARNA who went through rites of passage sagging. This is important to say. Y'all might say, well, why are we having a whole class on dress code? Because we have to say these things. Sagging. All right. We are not allowed to operate and walk around with our pants hanging halfway off our ass, with our boxes or whatever else we got on showing, with a Gucci belt on or whatever else is going on, and we out here looking retarded. Our men do not move like that. Our sons do not move like that. You catch your son out of order, put him in order too. All right. Got some people coming in late, so I'm just letting them in. So you're never going to see our men walking around that way. Number two, you're never going to see our men just walking outside with no shirt on. Now, if you're at the beach, you're at the courts, you're playing b-ball, that's something different. I'm talking about you walking down the sidewalk and you just exposing your body. We don't do that. Under certain conditions, of course, it makes sense. You're swimming, you're doing these particular things, you're balling, you flag footballing it out and it's hot outside, it's 90 degrees, whatever. Cool. You're in an event, on a vacation, doing something, that's reasonable. That's common sense. But you coming up to the summit with your shirt off, local meeting with your shirt off because it's 90 degrees outside, something of that nature, no, we're not doing that. All right. We do want the sun to touch our body. Go to the beach. Go to your backyard. Sunbathe. Nobody got no problems with those things. The sun was meant to touch our bodies. But we also understand that we are in a culture that uses those means of wear or not wear for other purposes, and we don't want to be engaged in those particular things. All right. That's it. Men's clothes are just kind of simple. We don't want you walking around in skinny jeans with your ass hanging out and all the weird stuff. When it comes to women, it's a little bit more, right? As far as etiquette. So in the Rites of Passage manual, which I'll just open and I'll read, because, I know y'all got all kind of stuff on your profiles right now online. And that is not my business, right? But you are not about to be out here thotting it up, saying you represent us. Because that's not what we do. We just don't do that. All right, so let me open this up. so I can read directly from it. Where is this? Daughter. All right, that's somewhere else. Let me find this manual. I just had this open. Oh, it's under ROP file, I think. I want to read directly from it so I don't make any mistakes on this. There we go. All right, so I'm going to share this with you so that you can see it. All right. Should be able to see it. Daughters of the Shrine. We are going to go to page 7 and 8. Okay. Make that big so y'all can see it. All right, so before that, we have the general orders. Everybody should memorize their general orders. There are only 12. General orders are for the military protection when we are anywhere with our families, with ourselves, at meetings, etc. We all memorize these and we live by it. All right. Now, when it comes to the sisters, we know there's a whole culture out here. We got women about to fly away with the long eyelashes. We got women who piling cakes of makeup all over their face. Women who wearing long blonde weaves. Exposing everything that you got. Doing booty shots on Instagram, turning around. We're not with none of that. And if you are with that, you're in the wrong place. This is not World Star. This is none of that. We are civilized people who have a culture, who do not want to misrepresent ourselves in the public, because that can create a moment. All right. There was this one time when I was a FOI, and this is sort of related. It was myself, Brother Lamont, brother who's the captain now, Brother Anthony. There's a few other brothers. Anyway, we're soldiering in Philly. This had to be 20 years ago. No, 21 years ago, 22 years ago, matter of fact, about 22 years ago. Soldiering in Philadelphia, right in North Philly, right off of Girard Avenue, like around 18th and Girard. Anybody know North Philly, you know that area. So there's the sister, and she was dressed all crazy, but her man was pummeling her on the sidewalk, right? So we went over there. Like, look, bop, 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 get up off her, right? So we just separated them. And of course he was upset. we tried to pull the sister to the side, talk to her like, yo, what's going on? Let us know what's going on. So she like, that's my man, that's my pimp or whatever. And he just mad at me, but I love him. Don't hurt him. I know y'all kill people. They probably had seen Malcolm X or something like that. They like, man, these niggas in bow ties about to kill us. So we talking to the sisters to calm down. We telling the brother like, look, you understand? You cannot beat this sister. You can't do this. Like, we're not gonna let you do that. So he went to go get his gun. He left the scene and went to go get his gun. And he had it, and we had to respond. Now, the first thing that was said to him was, bro, you need to put that gun down, because even if you kill one of us, you're not gonna kill all of us, and we will kill you. And I think that he got it and he chilled. The sister, we talked to her for a few minutes, asked her where she lived at. She lived with him. Okay, cool. Y'all, you need to figure out how not to let this happen, because, this can get dangerous for us or for you. I'm saying that to say, I can't tell you what to do as brothers or sisters. But I'm telling you now, if you ever in your life see something like that, do your best not to physically intervene. And I'm saying that for one reason. We have our own jurisdiction for a reason. It is to protect each other from circumstances and situations that we know are volatile. We also are learning the law, the health, the etiquette, so that we don't put ourselves in dangerous positions. And thirdly, no wife, husband, man, or woman on this line deserves to lose their life for someone who has decided to live in a certain way that could trigger things along with that lifestyle that are detrimental to themselves and to others. Meaning, you got a husband, if you're married, y'all got 3 children, you're expecting him to make it home. If he goes out and tries to be a hero for someone who is not living a certain way, you could lose your husband and your future because of some woman on the street who has decided to live a certain way. That is not intelligent. That might appear to be courageous, which was what we were trying to be like. Look, we just want to help. We don't want the sister to get killed. But some interventions can get you killed. Now we can isolate that because everybody here is going to learn and should know that they should be strapped. If you haven't learned how to handle firearms, you will be taught. All right? And you will know how to use them for your own safety and security. That's 1. 2, even if you don't have firearms, you're going to learn martial sciences that teach you how to protect and defend yourself. 3, even if you have all of the above or none of the above, you still don't deserve to die based on intervening into someone's situation who is not on the same code as you. All right. So what we're saying that for is when it goes to the dress. If you're ROP sister and you walking somewhere with some clothes on, it's showing everything, all the way up to your thigh and some glittery thing, you're going out to the club or something, and you go with your friends, and some nigga put his hands on you and start rubbing all over your ass because your ass is all out and you're on the dance floor, we're not coming to your aid. Because we are not going to risk our life because you made a personal decision to put yourself in an environment and to dress a certain way in the environment of people who are some of whom, not all, some of whom are savage. And then you call headquarters like, look, we need the brothers to go, blah, 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 blah. We're going to investigate. It was like, where were you? What was going on? Boom, boom, boom. And if we do our investigation and we see the pictures on Facebook or Instagram where you had the Nicki Minaj dress on and you want us to come, we're not doing it. It won't happen. Or if someone does do it, they do it on their own regard. It's not because it's law. It is law for us to protect our women, period. But it is also law for them to be on point with their civilization. And we are not here to be police over women's clothing. That's not what we're not here to do. That's between you and your family. What we are here to do is say, in our society, you're not going to come flapping your butterfly wings at the summit. We can't have it. It would be an embarrassment to our tribe, our governing system, for you to show up like that. You can't show up with a long blonde wig and say, I'm coming to the summit and I got my ROP uniform on and I'm got the long blonde. We can't have that. You can't have those things. If you got some lipstick and some mascara or whatever and you dressed up, look nice, cool. Anybody got a problem with that? So nobody is against makeup. We're against you putting a whole cake on your face. There's a difference. Because if a brother wants to court you and you got a whole cake on your face and he doesn't know what you really look like, that's a problem. Brother, if you got a man weave in and the sister think then you got long locks and she loving how beautiful your locks are, but it's actually a man weave, you just violated her. So we're not into the impersonations. We're not into people coming in and gender switching. You were born a woman. You did some hormone therapy and all of this, got your birth certificate changed over. It says now you're a man and you're actually biologically a woman. Or you were born biologically a man and you did surgeries or whatever and you come over here trying to act like you're a woman. We would do a Y chromosome test on anybody who we suspect that is doing any gender switching. Because that's available in the world today. You can do surgeries now. They can build you a vagina. They can build you all this kind of stuff. And we don't know unless we check. So if someone raises accusations against somebody saying something happened, we got the right to check because we are a heterosexual indigenous community. We don't have any of that going on. All right, that's important to know. And so when it comes to dress, we just dealing with the provocative. If you're at the beach and you got on beach wear, you're at the beach. Go ahead. If you're in your backyard and you sun tanning, whatever, they ain't none of our business. But you can't come to the ROP Summit with a mini dress on, with your titties out, with all kind of cake on your face, and saying, I'm an ROP national. We're going to stop you at the door and say, no, ma'am, you're not coming in. So all the point that we are trying to drive home is etiquette and class for men and women not deceiving people, you know, men, if you, I don't know, you're not going to come up in honor with a man weave. We're just not going to let you do that. If women are wearing braids or some cultural style hairstyle, that's fine. But you can't come up in here looking like a whole Becky, dyeing your hair like Becky. We're not here to do that. All right. We're here to be healthy. We're here to pronounce to the world our indigenous culture, our health standards, our standards. Okay. So this section deals with the basic modesty aspects. All right. With suggestions, I mean, if you don't know some of the color science, then all that stuff is there as a preliminary. But yeah, y'all can read over that. If you ever have an objection to a statute, a code, regulation, whatever it is, you can propose that objection directly to the Jural Society, and they'll forward it to headquarters, and then we'll have our discussion on it, and then they have to decide. So, you know, that's just a matter of someone raising an objection. But the preliminary context we're laying here, as we're about to go a little bit further, is the etiquette of men and women. All right. The etiquette of men and women. Anybody saying you can't dance and have a good time or whatever. But there are things that are not within the realm of natural law etiquette, you know, and, you know, we're just not going to have it. That would be just like, you know, you wanting to, I don't know, do something that's against our law system, and we're just not going to have it. Just as much as we want jurists to do the work that they're supposed to do, and some of them are out of line, some of our behavior is out of line. And if you're online and your last name is Shiamaru, and you're celebrating LGBT's Day to commemorate LGBTQ, you can be brought up on charges, because we do not, we're not asking you to fight gay people. We got gay people in our family. We got all kinds of stuff going on around us. And we are not here to hurt or harm other people because of whatever choices that they made. But we do not promote those lifestyles. And so if you are promoting that lifestyle, this is not the place for you. You would need to get another place to reside in. And it is not the Aboriginal Republic of North America Shiamaru tribal government. Okay. I know there'll be questions about this. And anyone who has personal questions for me can send the questions to amarushiali@gmail.com. If the question is not personal and is legal of some sort, you can also send it to me, because our law firm here at headquarters deals with the primary prosecution or raising of issues of note when it comes to the law and standards of ARNA. But you don't have to do that. You can raise that directly to the Jural Society, and they will make a determination on that we have nothing to do with. Okay. All right. So let me stop sharing this. Come back to the regular screen. All right. Got some folk who are trying to come in. Let me let these folk in. All right, so I'm gonna repeat some of the things that we've stated from the beginning. On Tuesday night at 8 p.m., we are going to go over tax issues and nationality. For folk who had tax issues, we'll be able to delineate everything you're supposed to have and how the process is supposed to go. Then from there, after you gather that information, you will be able to know what you have and what you don't have, what you were told wrong or what you were told correctly. And then we can come to you individually. So within the next week and a half, we can solve all of those tax issues and make sure everybody understands the nationality issues. 2, the rites of passage manuals were sent to you, okay? They were sent to you, so you can read over them. 3, if you came into the rites of passage late, the rites of passage schedule was sent to you. We're on week 3 right now. What we're doing is we're uploading the videos to arnagovernment.org's page, the TV page, and the password was sent to you. If you did not get the password, we'll send the password back out. So this video will be uploaded to there just to save, so that we know the general concept of dress code. We went over the 4 types of dress code: A, B, C, and D. A is regular wear, everyday clothing of some type. B is suit and tie, formal dress for the women. C is ARNA uniforms, all right? And D is military, all right? So we have all of our cultural, formal, non-formal dress codes covered in those 4. And if we are at an event or something of that nature, we will be detailing what the dress code is. We are doing a tour, a 9-city tour, primarily of the South and the West. And so as we organize the tour, when we do have nationals there, we will have dress codes at the tour. Sometimes we'll be dressed down, sometimes we might not be dressed down, but we will denote that as we travel. If you are in a city in the South, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, California. I wasn't thinking about doing Phoenix because there's not a lot of us there, but I was told that we might need to, but you know, I got to talk to the people out there. If you're in the South and you want ARNA to come to your city, we will come. What is the goal of the tour? Goal of the tour is threefold. It is to teach people that they have a safe place to come to deal with their Indigenous status. It is to deal with the elections that are coming 2022 in the United States, so that we can help our people understand why they do not need to vote Democrat, why they strategically need to put their own Indigenous candidates in place or vote Republican. This has to do with policies till 2024. And 3, we have our own elections coming up in 2022 for the Ministerial Congress and the Drill Society. All right, and then the chief executive will be up for election 2024. So we want to prepare ourselves for those things. And finally, most importantly, is the opening of local jurisdictions. The reason why we want to come to your city is because we want to help you get your local jurisdiction open, functioning, and operating. And that is the goal of that tour. So we'll be keeping you updated on those particular things. And I'm going to open the lines now for questions that we may have about what we just stated, because I know the conversation will get extended and we can get into more detail, and then we can go from there. All right, so let me unmute the lines. And all right, so you can unmute yourself. You should be able to unmute yourself now if you have a question or a statement.
Peace, Chief. Quick question on the dress. Was that A, regular dress, B, suit/dress for women, C, ARNA uniform, and D, military? I came in late, so.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's correct.
All right, cool. And are we saying that'll just be how we deal with our everyday work in our local jurisdiction? Or let's say if you're coming for that tour, you may say we in protocol B for dress today.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you too, God. Any other questions? And they don't have to be on this particular subject. I know people have other questions, and that's fine. I don't mind answering those questions. And if they need to be organized to be dealt with at another time or a private consultation or something of that nature, that's cool too.
Peace, Brother Ali.
Peace, family.
I was curious. I happen to be the only national in here in Kentucky in Region 5. And I know that you said Tennessee. Where did you intend to go to Tennessee?
You know what? I'm not sure. I know it's going to be either Memphis or Nashville, but we have more nationals in Nashville. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to do Nashville.
Okay, it sounds good. And I know you'll be giving the updates on it and whatnot. But,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, y'all will get all of the detailed personal updates. And then, of course, the online people will get, just locations and that kind of stuff.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, God.
When you do the tour, will you be recording that for people that aren't going to be in those cities, like for us that's in the north or the east?
Yeah, we're going to have someone who will stream it for us so people can watch it, regardless if they're present there or not.
Peace, Chief. I had a question about the apparel. Like if somebody wanted to make Aboriginal gear, in a sense, kind of how I've seen at the summit a few times.
Yeah.
If someone was interested in possibly making more of that, will we have to contact headquarters for approval?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to make Aboriginal gear of any type, you have the exclusive authority to do so. And I was gonna say, you already know how the business structure works, so you can structure your business or whatever, and we'll help you promote it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. We had a brother who was at the head of the Ministry of Arts and Culture. I'm not sure what's happening with him. He hasn't responded to, all of this stuff with the rights of passage stuff, but the elections are coming up anyway. So if we need a new person, we can get somebody elected into that particular position. And the reason why I mentioned that is because I set up a format for that person to do one branch of certifications for production of apparel. So if we have other people who want to volunteer for that particular position until the election, that's fine. If you run an apparel company or whatever, email me direct, amarushi.ali@gmail.com. And we can work together to help, build your business, franchise it, get it out to other nationals.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Brother Ali.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a little off topic, but it was another national that was caught up in the IOTN thing, and I forwarded you a message with her information. I was talking to her on Instagram. I don't see her on here, so I just wanted to make sure you got that information.
Okay, what was the person's name?
Kimberly Brown or Kimberly. I sent it to you in a message just now.
Oh, to the hotline, the phone hotline, or email?
No, this one on the Zoom message.
Oh, okay.
Directly.
Okay.
And I put the email and everything. Everything she sent me on Instagram, I put it in there.
Okay, got you. All right, so I can check that. Any other questions, family? If it's not about dress code, that's fine. You can ask any question that is on your mind right now so you can get clarity. And if you can't get your clarity right now, we will gather the clarity so that, you do have, awareness of how you can solve the problem or how we're going to put together a solution.
I had a question. I know people have their hands raised though, like Catherine and
Yeah.
Devon.
That's fine. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead, sis.
For people who are in the local jurisdictions, I know you said when you come to the tour, you're setting it up. As far as if we have certain people that want to run politically, does that need to be done before you come, or kind of how would you suggest we go about that?
Well, it depends on what they're running for, because there's different things that have different probably time requirements. If they're running for a national seat like Senate or Congress, they need to already be moving on, advertising for themselves and starting the campaign. If they need some help with that, I'm willing to, give some fast track advice on that. If it's for something local, sheriff, mayor, something of that nature, that usually happens around between September and December too. So it all depends on what they're running for, whether it's local, state, or national. And, that will tell time-wise. And then from there, I can just give them advice on what will be the proper, steps they will probably need to take if they want to be a write-in candidate, how to move on that. And the rest would be the strategic campaign, raising some funds and, putting their name out there. So yeah, this would be before they will want to start before.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, greetings. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, love.
So I'm Kimberly Brown, and I did hear what the gentleman said. I'm not sure what.
No, that was a mistake. I mixed your name up with somebody else. I'm sorry.
Okay, because
he got the email though. He got the.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
Okay.
It was.
Okay, I was just clarifying because I had no direct contact with Indigenous Southern North, so I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Right.
I have a question about, are there any other active nationals in North Carolina?
Active nationals in North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, as far as the list is concerned, I don't know if they're on here now. We have people in Charlotte, Raleigh. What's the mount?
Asheville.
Say it again.
Asheville.
Asheville. I don't know about Asheville. It was But if
Rocky
anybody out here from North Carolina?
And I'm right outside of Raleigh, but I haven't met any other nationals here.
Yeah, there's a few nationals in the Raleigh-Durham area.
Okay. Thank you.
I know at least about 4 or 5 in that area. I guess what we can do too is, when we do one of these orientation classes, we can group people together. We can do it, of course, too, by the spreadsheets and the regions. But yeah, that will best be handled in the long term through local jurisdictions being open. But for now, I know there's about 3 additional people besides you in the Raleigh-Durham area.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll pull those names.
I'll pull those names.
Peace, Chief. I had a quick question.
Go ahead, God.
I actually had a consultation with you from my mother back when you were still doing the medical consultations, and it just couldn't get the schedules to match up. I just wanted to see if you had I had emailed you back recently when you had hit me back about the books.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we can set something up.
Yeah, we can set
And
something up.
did you send a response? Official response to the book?
Official response to the book?
Yes, for the address.
Okay.
Update for the address, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so I go back to that
So I
email.
go back to that email.
And then when I respond,
respond
so we can set up a time.
so we can set up a time.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, Chief Al.
Greetings, young lady. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I have two questions.
Yes.
One is I'm in Los Angeles, California. Are there any nationals out here? And because it would be great, to group up with someone. I feel so lonely with no nationals that I could hook up with.
Right.
I'm in
And
Pasadena.
I'm sorry,
I'm in Pasadena,
who's that speaking?
Lorraine.
Oh, hey, Lorraine.
Hi.
Yes.
I've been wondering if there was someone else out in the LA area too.
There's a lot of people out in LA area. There's a lot of them out there.
Is it possible like to get a list so we can just reach out to one another? Is that possible?
Hey, good.
Yeah, I can get Ansar to collect some names of all the nationals out there and then just, distribute them to y'all.
That would be fantastic.
Also, Chief, yes, for Nashville too. I didn't mean to
Hey,
jump in.
yes.
Well.
Q, yes. Hey, Q.
We can I haven't talked to you in probably like 2-3 years, but we can
Exactly.
Yeah, we can connect and build.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of folk out there on the West Coast.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is this. Every Sunday morning I go to farmer's market. In your books on nutrition, is there anywhere where you state that we should only eat what's grown in the area that we live in and what's in season? Is that an important?
I don't even know. That's all, hocus pocus to me.
It is? Okay, I was just wondering because I've been thinking about this for like a long time. I said I have to ask Allie that.
No, if you want to eat fruit in the middle of the cold winter, it's not going to be devalued by your body or not, assimilate properly, or, people have all kinds of things that they got from Eastern medicine that it's just not scientific. That's all I can say.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that because I had a mango with avocado the other day. It was delicious. And mango.
You thought you were eating it in the wrong season?
Well, mangoes aren't in season right now. They're all imported from Mexico.
Yeah, that's fine. If you're in a cold climate and you want to eat a mango, your body is not going to reject it or function less because of the temperature outside,
or the state or the area that I'm living in.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad to hear that.
Now, there is something to that when it comes to other things, maybe like lots of the vegetation that grows in colder climates. It may be missing some of the nutrients that something that's in a warmer climate has, because the warmer climate has more sunlight, longer roots, that type of thing.
That's a good point.
There will be variances, but I mean, you eating it is not going to stop you from getting the nutrients out of it.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Hey, Chief. It's this is April.
Hey,
Givens. Hey, I have a question, and we can take it offline as well about the jurist course that I was taking with Indigenous of the North, and not really getting any feedback from that. So I wasn't able to finish the course just because I, was trying to understand things in the work. So how would you want me to proceed? Because I do want to finish it to become a jurist.
Anybody who paid Indigenous of the North for a jurist course will be given a free course by C-ARNA Aboriginal Law Firm. What we've been trying to do is organize some of the things that they did that were out of protocol, so we can get everybody up to speed, and then get through this rites of passage, which we'll only have a few more weeks to get through. And then anybody who can show a receipt that they paid Indigenous of the North for the course, you'll be able to come into Honor Aboriginal Law Firm and take the course for free and get all of the details that you need.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
All right, and we'll put out a poll to the national list to ask everybody to submit that information, before that time, and then we'll organize it and get everybody in.
Peace, God. This is Ken.
Peace, God.
Peace. Yo, just wanted to double check on if there'll be a discussion with the land vessel operations for the local jurisdictions, or should we wait for you to tour through to go through that information?
Yeah, we way far from doing DLG.
Okay.
I mean, we're not way far as knowing how to do it. We probably far from it just from a standpoint of, getting the local jurisdictions organized and functional, especially based on with the information that we're giving out now with the rites of passage. And only just to say from the experience in the past, one of the reasons why it didn't run right is because, we set up a bond with the state in order to deal with the insurance aspect. It was self-insurance, but we still had to pay, so I got it down to about $25 for each participant, and they weren't paying the insurance. So that was one of the things that caused the cancellation of the bonds and all the other stuff.
Right.
And, then people started making their own plates and plate lookalikes, and it just got nasty.
Right. Okay.
You know how folks are, they're crazy.
Yeah.
So once we get through this rites of passage and get everything organized, we'll be able to revisit that for local jurisdictions who are already organized and up and running, so that we can, just do it right. That's all.
Sir, yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, God.
Peace, God. Peace, God. Peace, God.
Got a little echo. Can you hear me, God?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, are there any current jurist think tanks or psychology think tanks that are like current right now for people who already have their certifications?
No, we don't have any, and we're not going to have any until after we deal with this rites of passage. This is just our retunement, and we kind of on the easy side right now as we intensify what we're doing here and get everybody in shape. Then we can go back and open up these think tanks, because we'll have people that are designated who have completed this, have shown their loyalty to their own governing themselves properly, and then the extension of giving responsibility in those areas will be way more secure, than something like what happened with the IOTN, where we didn't take those people through certain steps and we see the result. So we just want to make sure that with dissemination of authority comes the accountability that's necessary, because I ain't coming to clean up nobody's shit no more. It ain't gonna be no shit. You know what I mean? And we're gonna have all this in order, so that we avoid that. But yeah, we will resume those after week 8 of rites of passage. We're on week 3 now, going up on week 4, so we got a little bit of time, but it's gonna be worth it. The wait will be worth it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Peace, God. I had a question for you.
Absolutely, God.
So, in regards of proper communication and notices to the Department of Homeland Security, is that something that we'll discuss in level 3, as well as like historical boarding crossings of Aboriginals?
No, we don't have to make any communications to Homeland Security. The only
Okay.
party that we have to make communications to is either the Attorney General or the Secretary of State in most operations. And notifying anybody else is not statutorily required, or it doesn't make any sense, to talk to them. When it comes to border crossings, there is nothing there besides, in the past, there are certain tribes that they grant motion across borders. But historically, those are BIA entities.
Right.
Our approach to deal with all of that is going to be a little bit different, meaning our own autonomy in what we do will give us economic strength to invest in political strength to get laws changed. If we want laws changed in the United States of America that may affect us, we have to engage politics.
Correct.
And we haven't been doing it in a way that we will do it now. And so we getting ourselves in a position now to understand how that's done. For instance, if we had someone in ARNA who was a senator and they raised some type of issue for legislation for something in particular, let's say 6 years or 7 years down the line, if we have the momentum that we need, especially with our community, we can swing some of these things into action to get them, on the books. But for now, that kind of activity would be sparse. It would be ineffective.
Gotcha.
At this point, we got to get our weight up a little bit,
Yep.
And we got all the tools to do it. Shit, we just got to get the people and the people who want to do it.
Correct.
Sometimes, and this is just a sidebar, sometimes people don't recognize why we are here. We are here to start a motherfucking fight.
Right.
And people think this is something else. And when I say start a fight, I don't mean it in an irresponsible way. I mean, like, politics is war. Business is war in America.
Correct.
And so if we think that we're just going to sit our little indigenous behinds down and, drink smoothies and delight in, whatever, they're missing the point. We have to fight. And so we have to be ready to fight. We have to be politically conscious to fight. We got to educate ourselves, and we're moving in the right direction. But as we get there, we'll be able to deal with that, because border crossings is a major issue.
Yep.
Indigenous passports is a major issue. It was a major issue under Obama. And, right now, the BIA doesn't allow for any Native Americans to use passports because some of them have them. And they had a controversy over this a few years ago. And it was struck down. But, it's because of their political position. They're wards.
Right.
But we're in a unique position. We just got to get our weight up.
Yep. Understood. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, God. Anybody else?
Chief, I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Do we have like a protocol? I got a woman, a Morris family up in Seattle, Washington. Excuse me. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I got them. They've been asking me about. They've been dealing with the hospital system for 3 years. They got a 12-year-old girl. She's been doing a blood transfusion. So I was wondering, is there a way that we have an Aboriginal Medical Association where I can help guide her better? Because I have her on a carbon-based diet and a few things that we recommend, but there's something, more scientific I could do to help this family with the blood transfusion.
So she's doing blood transfusions for what purpose? Like, why is she doing the transfusion?
She was doing, so she hasn't been doing them lately, but she was doing them because they say she's got some unique case where doesn't have, what is it called? What is that? Not, some blood, not the blood disease, that's the typical one. Can't even remember what it's called. Some
Is
type
it, is
of
it just something where she's unable to synthesize red blood cells or some other type?
she's not producing her own red blood cells.
Okay. Okay.
So I just put her on our, mostly on our carbon-based
Yeah,
diet.
you would have to email me because I would need some details because the synthesis of red blood cells is a gene on, gene off switch mode. And so if whatever the ailment is that they've listed it under, we have to look at that and then look at her and see if that's actually the case, because sometimes they misdiagnose or whatever.
Right.
But once we get the diagnosis down, we can pretty much tell exactly what she needs to do. We just got to get the diagnosis down. Keeping her on the the food science program is good because that's going to stabilize her. And then figuring out exactly what the actual disease is. And then, I'll give any data that I have on it so you can add on to it.
Right.
I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am. Peace, sister.
Peace. So I need to cancel my birth certificate. So I need to know like the process of going about doing that.
Okay. All right. So for everybody who's listening, I'm gonna give a rundown on what this document is and what it's actually doing. Cancellation of your birth certificate. If you read the document, it's a 4-page document. It's pretty clear. What it is doing is two basic things. It is saying, one, this is not an identification document for me. Two, if it was used as an identification document at any point in time in history for me, we are negating any third parties that had any financial, political, economic interest in this particular document because it was not made plain and clear to the people who were trustees, my guardians, my parents, whoever it was that engaged the document, the midwife, whatever. It was not detailed to them that was the case. And so when you use that document, you find out what county you were born in and find out the vital statistics for that county. And all you are doing is getting the document notarized and sending a copy of the notarized document to that entity. After you've done that, you don't need to do nothing else. You don't need to receive nothing back. You don't need nothing. You notice that party, you keep a record of your notice to that particular party. So that if at a later date, for some particular reason, some tricky stuff comes up around this birth certificate, you have a notice, and then now, if it needs to be divulged through interrogatives, freedom of information, etc., that this document is being used against you in some illicit manner, then we can do that. So when we get the document from a jurist, the jurists are supposed to give y'all what I gave y'all today, which is the ROP contact information and the detailed list of what the purpose of each document is and how you're supposed to carry out dealing with that document. And so if you look at that ROP document instruction sheet, it tells you what I'm telling you now about the cancellation of the birth certificate. So you would simply get the document. Once you get the document from the jurist, you get it notarized, make a copy, send that to the vital statistics of the county that you were born in.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Peace, Brother Ali.
Peace, God.
There was actually a comment that just popped up. I had the exact same question. I was actually moving a bit fast whenever I got my documents. Everything that I got was on key, as it should have been. It was right and exact, Shouts out to High Wob and Brother Kojo. I just happened to send out my original to the cancellation. I did get it notarized and etc., but I didn't make a copy and I sent it out.
That's okay. You can have that document republished for you. You can get a notarize. You can notarize it and put it in your file.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering that did I need the actual original when I got it notarized, etc. But okay.
That's fine. If anybody made the mistake that you made, that's fine. You know, you're not in any, you know, you didn't create any legal problems or whatever. You do need to get another copy of that document or print it out and get it notarized and keep a copy for yourself.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
So when my son was born, there was some unclear communication when it came to, you know, the birth certificate and stuff. So we have one. Do we have to go about canceling that, or can we just, you know, let that go and then wait till he gets older to do that process and just keep the affidavit of birth for him? Or do we need to go about canceling that document while he's young?
Yeah, you want to send that in as soon as, if you got it, send that notice in, you know, tomorrow or next week, whenever you can, because you want a record of that to reflect, because you don't want to not have that and maybe need it for some particular purpose. I don't anticipate you'll need it at all, but yeah, you can do his and send it off, you know, as soon as you're able to.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Peace, guy. I had a question as well that wasn't on topic. It was actually a video I had watched of yours a while back, and I know you mentioned there was some older books that you had wrote. I was wondering if you were ever gonna like email those out or send that out. It was one I know in particular you was mentioning about the you did indigenous lands that were in like Texas and just the United States overall. I was wondering if that's a book that you had available for purchase or anything.
I think that might be Freedom 101. A lot of the older books that I have, I don't put them out in circulation, of course, because the information has been updated. I think that's what you're talking about, though, Freedom 101. And what we did in that particular manual is we gave the names, how states got their names and which states got their names from indigenous places. That's one part. Then the second thing that we did is we went through all of the treaties and how land was lost to Europeans. So let's say like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, all of those lands. And that used to be Mexico until 1848, which is the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, where Mexico lost those lands to the United States. The Louisiana Purchase, we talk about Empress Tierra Verdiasi, and we have her book on the website, on our website, for like $20. It's called Return of the Ancient Ones, where she details how the Louisiana Purchase actually happened. Napoleon Bonaparte only owned the barracks of a fort in what is now New Orleans. He sold that to Thomas Jefferson. And what Thomas Jefferson did was created a spy group to spy out the natives throughout that area, all the way up to Canada. It's called the Lewis and Clark Expedition. And they took a man named York and Sacagawea with them to be able to communicate with some of the tribes. And so we lost that land unlawfully. And the Empress is important because she was of the family lineage of people who actually owned it and had proof of it. But that was a spoiler in her life because of what happened with her, but the records are still there. And then of course, you know, Florida and other places. So there was always Aboriginal title first. It was either lost by conquest or war, and a treaty was made at all times, whether it was legal or not. And moving forward, you can trace all abstracts of title back to some Aboriginal ownership. So a really simple example of this is you might have a family that had 200 acres in South Carolina. And what you don't know is maybe they got it through the Dawes rolls, maybe they got it through some type of other way that you might not be aware of. The Dawes rolls were allotments of land to indigenous peoples in exchange for them becoming citizens. Then they taxed them on their land, and our people became sharecroppers on the land that they used to own. And so they ended up basically being slaves, even though slavery was over at this particular time, on those lands. So we talked about some of those things. Yeah, I can bring some of those books back out, and I can send some of them out. I won't send all of them out because some of them are just, the information is just too old. But the Freedom 101 and the other ones that have that, I'll just make up a email and just send that out to y'all so y'all can review them.
Appreciate it.
Sorry, absolutely. I'm making a note of that right now to email it. All right, family. Anybody else?
I had a quick question.
Go ahead, sis.
Okay. I had submitted all my paperwork and got it all notarized and everything. When I sent it to Indigenous of the North, do I have to resubmit all that to you?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that you're gonna have to do is we send out an email to make sure that you used the headquarters registration link to submit your information in case something does happen where you lose documents or something and we have to repopulate them. We'll already have the information. And this is something that Indigenous of the North was supposed to do. Whenever a jurist brings a national in, they're supposed to send them to or go themselves to the headquarters link to make sure that data is in our database. So if you already got everything done from Indigenous of the North, that's fine. It's still good, active. The only thing you need to do is follow the links in that email where we had the registration link for headquarters and submit that information.
Okay. And then it was just never clear with them. But hopefully you'll bring up this topic in the future. About how to do the irrevocable trust.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cover that on Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
Okay.
But just in summary, the irrevocable trust is a summary of all the property that you own. Whatever you owned under your old name now is coming under your Indigenous name. And so you are the beneficial owner of that. You're the only one who is supposed to have the actual document. Once we sign it, we give that over to you and you're supposed to have it. You can move things in and out of your trust at your own will. Let's say you pay for a new car and you own it. You're not paying a car note on it. Once you own that, you got the title. You can write an affidavit for anything you want to put under your trust. Property, houses, whatever it may be. And so there's some more particular details, but that's pretty much it. The irrevocable trust is your ownership of everything that you own and that you own prior under your old name. And it's something that is an inheritance that you can pass on to your children, grandchildren, etc.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to ask, as you're looking through like your old content or any old books, do you have any content culturally that we can implement into our powwow, April 24th or 22nd to the 24th, where we plan, we want to do like, more cultural, traditional things, but just trying to, switch it up.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to get data on like how they did powwows like a long time ago, I can I have books on all this stuff, so let me make a note. Let's see.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Powwow ceremonial info. Yeah, I'll send this to y'all, if not tonight, in the morning, just on what a powwow was and how they did it. And basically, a powwow is where you get the concept of Powhatan from. And it was the calendars, and they did solstice and equinox festivals, like, kind of like we do with the Ramadan. That's actually a winter solstice indigenous celebration, just using that particular Moorish culture to express it. But it was done all around the world. And in South America, they called it Inti Rama Festival, Festival of the Sun. So they would do specific things, at those ceremonies. And yeah, it's really, really informative stuff, cultural based. And I will send that to y'all so y'all can have that as y'all making y'all if y'all planning out everything for that weekend.
Thank you. Everyone's invited, so come out to Dallas. Just letting y'all know we out here.
Say the dates again.
Is it Coach O'Keefe, the 24th or 22nd to the 24th that weekend? The 24th, we're locking the venue down this week. So around the 4th of April, it'll be a weekend, a 2 to 3 day event. And we're doing some more cultural based things, but I'll be doing bioscans for people. So if anyone is in any region, you'll want to get a health check, come to me. And Ken and Coach are doing presentations on how to gain economically using your tribal stuff. And if you have questions, there's some good people to ask. So.
And say y'all website again too, so that people will know, how to contact.
Yeah, our website is www.hawab, that's HAWAB.org. hawabdfw.org, and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to ask about the Black Flicks app. I know you mentioned it was partially completed. Would that be completed within a year or two or so?
I have no idea. What I've been doing now, as far as just that whole thing, is just trying to get those 2 documentaries down. I wasn't going to release those on Black Flicks just because that's going to require me to learn all of the JavaScript and all this stuff to run the app stuff. Plus, I got somebody working on our new app, so it's like a whole bunch of stuff converging. So what I was going to do was release the documentaries on our apps and probably release that joint just on our official YouTube as a private documentary until I go through the training and stuff to learn how to work the Black Flicks and operate it as a app. That's gonna take some time, but yeah, 2 years, definitely before 2 years. Yeah. I'm a king of clubs. We've been moving fast on stuff, so it ain't gonna take me long I already know enough about computers and coding to move pretty fast with everything else with that. So let's see, it's 2022 now. I'll probably have Black Flicks up and running by 2023 after we get past the summit and I got some downtime to do something.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, God. Any other thoughts or questions from the fam?
Yeah, peace, Chief.
Peace, family.
Hey, how do we assist you with the tour?
I don't know. It depends. There's gonna be a whole lot of stuff that come up as far as necessity is concerned. But I mean, I'll have more details on that, as far as the structure and the operations of it and what we need as we go. But I'm only coming to y'all anyway to get any level of assistance, support, more teachers on it. So y'all, everybody here would be the first people to know. Okay. Or get requests for those particular things.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we're gonna. Oh, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
You have a date yet for the summit? You have a date or what week in August the summit will be?
Yes. Let me look. The summit this year will be August the 19th, 20th, and 21st. 19th through 21st. And most likely it's going to be all 3 days at oh, why am I forgetting this place? The place we were at the first day in Austell.
Was the epicenter?
Yeah, epicenter. Yep, Riverside epicenter. So we're gonna work that out so we can get there all 3 days, because we want to do a lot more, than we did in the past, and it's going to require a building like that. So we want to do a concert and some other stuff. So that, as far as I know, is the best venue for us to do it in that people will be familiar with.
What time is the live on Tuesday again?
8 p.m.
Thank you.
And everybody will get a link, to participate on Tuesday. And we're covering taxes, employment taxes, tax exemption as entrepreneurs, sales tax, and nationality. So everybody will know those procedures.
I had a quick question. I'm curious to know what is ARNA's stance on people that still practice organized religion.
Oh, we don't have any problem with anybody that practices any religion. Our stance is that in those religions, that the people should be as well educated as they possibly can about the history and the culture and the origins of the practice. So we can't tell anybody, what religion to follow. That's something personal, but we can educate them on aspects. For instance, let's say we came in your house and you said you're a Christian and you had Caesar Borgia on the wall. Our job is to educate you, out of that colonized mindset. Something like that, you know what I mean? Or, it could be something about Islam that, is weird or crazy that they got going on. They got a lot of that. Maybe we want to educate them about the history of Islam, or the history of the Israelite traditions, or the history of Buddhism, whatever it is. So we have a lot of historians in ARNA who do research, do it together, do it independently, have published stuff too. So our job is to get you to see the origins and the indigenous perspectives of all of these particular things, so that your practices will be whole and meaningful and powerful and empowering.
All right, Brother Ali, on that note, on her question, so you're telling me that you can have a Christian come in and ARNA and, stand on Christianity?
I'm saying that we can't force them to practice or not practice a particular religion.
All right.
But where there will be conflict potentially is with our natural law systems in that particular system. So they need to read the Constitution so they can be fully aware of that, because they won't be able to do everything that Christianity advises them to do, because there could be some conflict.
All right.
What we do. And what we do is a government, and what they're doing is a belief system. So they'll be left with some decisions.
All right. So the reason why I'm asking this, because you made the comment about the LGBTQ and basically like promoting it, like that's a no-no, right?
Right.
Well, you get those same type of mindsets, or that could be a problem.
Yeah, and we have a way to deal with it. That's the thing. Whenever you have what we have, we have a way to solve problems. You know, we have counselors that can privately help people. We have historians that can privately or publicly educate people. We have a jural society where if there's some conflicting things going on, we can come to arbitration or court orders. We have all those things in place. One of the reasons why we cannot do that is because it is a private thing. You know, it's like us trying to enforce a state sanctioned religion, even if it's indigenous. We can't do that.
So let me ask you, what's the difference between the privacy of somebody being the sexual LGBTQ and the ideology of, you know, a false, something that has done so much harm to us? Why would you even be on this side? I don't understand that.
Okay, it's pretty simple. If you have two homosexuals and they're openly LGBTQ, whatever, it's an obvious natural law violation, right? It's obvious. They are cohabitating, sodomizing each other, whatever. It's obvious. We could say no. With Christianity, it may not be as obvious because you got all types of different types of people who hold the Bible as sacred. So an example would be, I know people personally in ARNA who would lean more towards what came out of Ethiopia. I'm not saying that it's authentic and correct. I'm saying that it's much different than Protestantism or Catholicism. Follow?
I get you.
So now when we get to the point of what could be a violation, we don't know until it comes up based on their practice. And so we will arbitrate with them, try to talk to them, let them know, you know, and then if that doesn't work, then we have to use the other mechanisms that we have available, court, you know, all those things. But you see what I'm saying? It would be way too meticulous because of the hidden ways that those things could surface. When somebody is homosexual, it's obvious. You know, y'all doing stuff that we just don't do is obvious. No, we can't do it. If somebody is a Muslim and they start saying, oh, Prophet Muhammad had a 9-year-old wife, why I can't marry somebody 9 years old in ARNA? And then we're going to say, okay, well, you need some corrective history. That, first of all, that never happened in history. But even if it did, we don't care. You can't do that here. So, you know what I mean? It gets shaky with these particular things. Some people are more educated in Islam. Some people are less educated in Islam. Some people are more educated in Christianity. Some people are less educated. Some people are more educated Hebrew. Some people are less. Some people are more educated, Kemetic, whatever. Some people are less. So we would drive ourselves crazy trying to itemize all of that and put it in books and tell people what they can and they can't do. The best thing we can do is focus on our structure and ARNA to make sure it is able to deal with each one of those things. You know what I mean? Because there are some crazy stuff in religion. Crazy stuff. You know, I mean, it just is. And people grow at their own pace. It's some crazy stuff outside of religion that people are involved in. You know what I mean? So religion has great benefit and it has great challenges, just like, you know, everything else.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Just wanted to ask on Tuesday that you go over the UCC1 filing as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll go over that. I'm gonna go over every process that we have or that is might be misunderstood, or even some of the sovereign citizen stuff. You know, yeah, Tuesday gonna be fun. So it's gonna be wild. Because I know it's a whole bunch of crazy stuff out here that people get involved in. And then there's some things that in the ARNA that people don't understand, like, you know, how are we supposed to deal with this or not deal with this, or, you know, what, so. And then we'll have a Q&A too. So, you know, we'll be able to get what we might slip under the rug. Somebody will ask it.
I have a quick question. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am, go ahead.
I know last week you were talking about like marriage and everything. and you were saying how, I think you said like for those that are young, the younger group, that we had, I think you said like, are we supposed to like be married? I think be married within like a certain time frame, or are we
Well,
supposed to be courting somebody within a certain time frame? Can you just clear that up?
Yes, ma'am. We don't have a time frame yet. We have to propose something via referendum and get a vote. But the idea that we have is if you've been in a society and it's been 2 years and you haven't court or been with somebody, then that is the barometer of the time period. We don't want you going beyond that time period because you're going to fornicate. Every human being that's heterosexual is going to want to have sex, right? Or maybe you might be celibate. That's fine. But we have to have rules in place in order to divorce our way from having people who are single, because people who are single was not something in classical indigenous civilizations that even existed. We understood the dangers of that. It doesn't mean you have to be married. It just means that you have to be something. And it doesn't mean you have to be having sex with somebody. It just means you have to be something. And so we have a very organized, efficient way of detailing those particular things. And it's not uncomfortable. You know, it's familiar to us as a people. We do it in some ways automatically, you know what I mean? But the point is, we have to raise a referendum, get a vote on that 2-year thing. We went over courtship periods, 6 months or a year. We went over denoting whether you want to be polygynous or monogamous from the beginning and not being able to change that. The contracts, we went over courtship, family maintenance, consort, wife. We went over all of those things. And that video is available on the website already. So you can review that for study. And yeah, so we got to propose that by referendum. You know, we don't want people sleeping with people, husbands, or, you know, people going through the society and having multiple sex with, you know, all kind of women. You know, you a dude in society, you didn't hit 10 women. Like, you're not doing that in here. Like, you know what I mean? Or vice versa. You know, you're a woman and you bouncing from this dude, you talking to this dude, then you talking to this. We're not doing that. So we put that lecture up, but we have to come up with a time period and make it lawful so that we don't just tell people what to do. We can't, y'all grown, we can't tell y'all what to do, but we're a government. So if we propose something and people get an opportunity to vote on referendums and things like that, then everybody's participation is present.
Okay, thank you.
And we did have questions like from there was an older sister, I think she was like 62. So she was like, you know, how is that going to apply to me, brother? You get, you know, everybody's thing is different. So maybe in a scenario like that, you would be under a family maintenance plan where you are helping younger women learn their motherhood or sisterhood, where that family, you're part of that family or in some way. And you don't have to be having sex with somebody, you know, I don't notice that's private. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. That's private, but there's still a structure. That's the point.
Peace. One more question for me, Chief. We are up here in Baltimore and we have about 20 people that just signed up between June of 2021 and now, right? Now I seen the email today, this afternoon, that stated that if they signed up within that period, they should have been paying dues for that period too? Or was the 360?
No, if they signed up in June of 2021, then they paid dues at that time. They don't owe any dues till June.
Cool. So that 720 was a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. But people do have the option then to pay 360 instead of paying the dues up front?
No, all the dues are supposed to be paid up front.
Okay, everything's just 720. So all those people are just good.
All those people are good. What's going to happen is we have a constitutional fiscal period from November the 1st to December the 31st, where we collect the dues. So when people come in like they did in June, they'll have July, August, September, and October to have to pay their monthly dues until the dues period comes up again. You follow me?
Yes.
So they when June comes, they're good till June. Then they'll be paying monthly until they get to November. Because what we want to do, and what we have to organize, is get people to pay dues within a certain period, so we know our budget for the year. Because if we don't, we'll be like we are now, March, and people are still doing it, and we are already in our for headquarters.
Got it. Got it. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brother Ali.
Yes, sir.
Mic mute, brother.
Oh, I can't hear you. Yeah, you gotta unmute your mic. I heard you the first time when you said my
Oh,
name.
all right, my fault. I keep hearing like 720 for the people. A lot of people pay 720, but I had paid I think it was like 1,200 to get it done expeditiously.
Yeah, that was a fee that Indigenous of the North was adding on, and what we're finding out is that I don't know if it was consultation fee that y'all was paying, because each person has something different. So what you would have to do is send us the receipt so we can look at what they itemized, because we don't even know what the expeditious process was. Like, did y'all?
Well, I guess they were going to take care of like a lot of the paperwork. They were doing it for me instead of just sending it to me and letting me do it. I don't know. I got to look at it now, because I know I pay more than 720.
Yeah, 720 is the standard fee for nationality and dues. And then that gets divvied up into a whole bunch of things. Like the jury gets a part of that, and then headquarters gets a part of it for that. And then, it gets divvied up for labor. But that's what the fee is. That's the standard fee. And see, the problem that was developing was the law firms had autonomy to register people, but again, they were under contract to send you to the headquarters website so you could do your registration and so you could be familiar with the website. Because on the website on the headquarters website are all the fees.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me? So you have a fee listing there, a standard fee. Now, if a jurist did something extra, they do have a right to charge you for extra services, but they're not supposed to trick you into extra services. You see what I'm saying? If they say, "Oh, we want to get you the passport as a national," that's not an extra service. That is something we give away for free to nationals to learn how to fill out a DS-75 form. They put their Indigenous name on so they can get their passport.
I paid it too. What it was that they charged like $200 for professional help, and then they charged the extra $100 for providing notary and authentication services for the documents. That's why I was like almost 1,200.
Okay, so yeah, if we're not telling you to use an outside notary and we're going to notarize them, because we all have our jurists have the authentication seals from us. But if one of them was a notary and there was notarizing documents, then that's another fee they could charge. That's not an illegal fee. But don't worry, all that's going to change, because how jurists take in new clients is going to change. Talking.
Nightcap, my coffee bag.
I don't know whoever that is. You might need to mute your line. So how jurists intake nationals is going to be completely different. So none of this will happen ever again. All right. Any more questions?
You got I just wanted to know when your next album coming out. That's my
You know, I got something coming out on the 21st. I'm about to go and record some music with my son, some more music with my son. Then it's coming out on the 21st. I'm mainly doing this because both of my sons are in music. All right, one of my sons is in instruments. He plays the violin, the viola, the cello, and the piano. So that's Amr. He's 9. He's about to be 10. And then my other son is actually a writer. He's production, engineering, rapping. He's 14. That's AJ. So, you know, I tried to, that's one of the reasons. I tried to get into it. I mean, they didn't grow up wild and crazy anyway, so they ain't saying crazy stuff or doing crazy stuff anyway, but, you know, just to give them an angle of coming in. But yeah, we're going to drop that in a few weeks, like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna have that out. And yeah, it's good because music is going to change. How music is delivered is going to change. And yeah, all of our youngins who in it, you know, we want them to still keep the banner. Like hip hop was made as entertainment, and we used it as a tool for other stuff that we wanted to get involved in. Political talk, knowledge talk, you know, battle talk. We had all of that in it, you know. And what they tried to do was corner it into, you know, young people getting money who don't have a lot of experience. So they're gonna talk about what just happened. You know, you just got money and girls is all after. So every song is about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then they, you know, if the culture is going to add in the pills to it and the drugs, then they're gonna talk about the pills they just popped and the car they just bought and the girl. So, you know, this is all social engineering, but we have the power to social engineer too. So we just gotta, you know, be aware. Hip hop is powerful. You know what I mean? It could be powerfully destructive or powerfully transformative. You know, and that's all on us. Some people just don't listen to it at all. Huh?
It helps you remember, because I remember the
oh yeah.
I remember the whole Ramadan prayer just from rapping it. So.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, that's a whole nother thing to music, you know, how music affects our consciousness, our genes. Like, that's a big subject. Music can turn on and off genes, literally. So we just got to educate our community on all this stuff so they be aware, so they know, like, we got this powerful tool, we can use it for our benefit.
Would that be in volume 2, Black Genetics book?
That's probably going to be more so, well, yeah, volume 2, because volume 3 is for white people, but volume 2, yeah, I'm working on it. I probably won't have that out though till summertime. I'm gonna get it done before the summer. And the only reason we're doing these volumes is so that we can show y'all how to open up labs in your local jurisdiction. So, you know, y'all have another means of educating the people, another means of labor and entrepreneurialism. And we're gonna be way ahead of the curve in those fields for our community, you know what I mean? And the other communities who are dealing with it, you know? The more wealth we build, the more things we're gonna be able to acquire to do more diagnostics. So that's the fun part. I love doing that. Yeah, that's gonna get next level. People already calling me crazy because, you know, I'm telling them we need something to compete with transhumanism, and we need our own chips. And they're like, nigga, you going with the beast. I'm like, bruh, you don't understand what's happening. You know, I'm not advising anybody to do anything synthetic to their body, but I'm saying that in order to compete in the future, you might have to, because we're not moving at the pace of other paces where we're producing the children who are genius enough to do it, because we're just being stubborn, you know, or we have things that block us. You know, it could be our religion, it could be how we grew up. You know, if we start talking about playing children and planning marriage for children, people look at that as strange, you know, because they're not familiar with it. But, you know, it's people in labs right now working with millions and billions and trillions of dollars who, you know, are planning not for us, so we are planning for ourselves.
But when you say that we combat that by teaching our children more about the comedics and the metaphysics stuff, like, I just feel like there's a gap between that right now. You know, knowing our truth, our, you know, our spiritual essence of our abilities that may not have been tapped into versus going that route.
Well, you know, I will partially agree with you, but with the metaphysics and spirituality that's out there now, I would personally have to disagree that that is going to lead to any level of extrasensory perceptions or improved things that can compete with what's out there. I think that the approach that we're taking with starting to learn genetics and then learning things that you can do to enhance it naturally can compete. But as far as commerce and technology in the future, the more knowledge you have of a thing, the more aware you are to make certain moves. We can take the metaverse as an example. In 10 years, if you don't have a competing model, you're going to be there trying to figure out how to survive. There's no doubt. You're not going to be working jobs like we work it today. And your children's future will not be the same. So with that being aware of that before it gets here totally, we have to be planning something. And it can't be based on these metaphysician people out here who bogus as hell, who can't perform real things. You know, if you're a metaphysician and you're saying that you have powers, you should be able to demonstrate them. And from what is out here now, they're far from it. So we have to reevaluate it, re-strategize it, or come up with competing methods that are not adverse to us, but some of which are synthetic. You know, like I said, in 10 years, if you want to compete on the metaverse, you're going to have to learn, somebody in your family will have to learn coding. Somebody will have to learn how to put an app on the metaverse. Somebody is going to have to understand the commerce of it so that we can survive as a people, because these plans have been put in to play for 20, 30, 40 years, and we have to have competing models. And Black people do not have competing models. This is the first competing model as a unit that has ever existed amongst Black people. Now we have great Black companies that do good things in software and other things, but they're not going to outcompete their competitors, and most of them are going to either be bought out or ran out of business. So we just have to become more aware of what is here and what is coming so we can plan better. And spirituality, as is taught in the Black community, in all the religions, in my estimation, is very weak when it comes to remote viewing, right? You have white people remote viewing who work with the CIA to spy on other countries. And they sit them in a room, and there's a technique that they've learned. Some of them have strengths that they were born with that get, you know, fine-tuned, and they're using them as weapons or for their own security and protection. We have the capacity to learn those same things, and we already set up ways to start to do that. When people come into the psychology department, if they get to level 3, they start to get into those things, the lucid dreaming, other things that where it's exercise that they have to do. So, you know, everybody gonna have their views on it, but yeah, if we want to compete in the future, and we want to not be slaves, we're gonna have to come up with some alternative methods. And so it's up for, discussion and dialogue, but it's pretty easy to see that we're gonna need help in those areas.
Question, God.
Yes, sir, God.
So it's just two-part question. One, will it be possible this summit to be able to pay to check out your DNA methylation? That's how you said it? Methylation?
Yeah, we'll have it by then, definitely.
Okay, okay. And two, do you have an estimate on how soon the vitamin D synthesization, you're able to synthesize your own vitamin D and use it as a supplement?
Yeah, that's everything has to do with the lab. So I probably won't be able to do that part till the end of the year, early in the year, but the DNA methylation test is pretty easy. I literally need a sample, and that's a 2-week process.
Okay.
But the other aspects of taking your own vitamin D and using it as a supplement, and the reason, okay, just to give people, some people might be listening, like, what is this dude talking about? What is he talking about? Like, why is he saying that? All right, some of you live in places where you don't have sun. You might not be in Texas or Florida or somewhere where it's hot a lot. You might be in Detroit or New York. And if you live in those areas, you're going to go through seasonal immune lapse, sometimes seasonal depression, etc., because you're missing nutrients. And the sun gives you not just vitamin D, but several other nutrients. So, but vitamin D is key. So you produce vitamin D in your blood. It can be isolated. It can be reproduced and put in a lipid format, or oil, something, and you can take it as a supplement. So I'm saying that to say you're not going to get vitamin D from anywhere healthy unless it's from the sun, pine pollen, or this method I'm talking. The other methods, you can get some forms of vitamin D. They are not the best, and they get weaker as you start going down. Like, you can eat some bison to get some vitamin D. That's a decent source. The best animal source on the planet, as far as we know. But, everybody's not just going to be eating bison every day. You know what I mean? That's not even advisable for every year of the day eating bison. You know what I mean? They have vitamin D in mushrooms and lichen, but those are fungi. So the structure is different. It's not even the same type of vitamin D3. And then you just start going on down the line, supplements that they have out here with vitamin D3. It's a hormone. So it has a very unique place in your body that's different than Europeans and Asians. The structure is different. And you need it. It controls over 1,000 genes that make T cells and B cells and antibodies. So if you're in the middle of dead winter and that switch is off long enough, and they make a virus like they was making this other stuff out, and it gets more dangerous, you're in a dangerous place. So what we are doing is what they're doing. They're using something called CRISPR-Cas9, CRISPR-Cas13, and they are using bacteria to vet genes for mutations or errors. And this is a new science that they're using. They're going to use it with transhumanism, and they're going to be superhuman. They are going to be superhuman. You're not going to get around it. So you need to be superhuman, and you already have way more ability to be superhuman, but we are one young institution that is approaching it. We don't have all the finances and other things to do it, but we have enough to move ourselves forward, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Thanks, God.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. Other thoughts, other questions y'all got before we get up out of here?
Oh, just one quick question, Allie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. of course I read somewhere that mushrooms are a fungi. You just mentioned that. And you did mention that the vitamin D is synthesized differently because it's a mushroom. If you take a mushroom and I lay it out in the sun, is that going to give me the D3 that I'm looking for? Is the mushroom safer? Does it change the structure of the mushroom to eat it if I physically take it and put it out in the sun to get vitamin D?
No. What's going to happen is the photons for the sun are going to create more mutations in the DNA in the mushroom, and the mushroom is going to be even more dangerous.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because of the mutations. So there's only one mushroom on Earth that you should intake, and it's called psilocybin, and it has to be from Mexico because there's no other place that it actually grows naturally.
Mm-hmm.
They have other mushrooms for psychedelics from other places, but that's the only one, and I would argue whether it's a mushroom or not, but that's the only mushroom on Earth that you should take. Besides that, lion's mane, all these other ones, I don't recommend them.
Could you spell that, please?
Yes, it's PSILOCYBIN, psilocybin. I think that's the right.
Okay, great.
Something close to that. PSILOCYBIN, psilocybin.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
So would you say microdosing is a healthy thing to do, or?
Microdosing what?
The psilocybin, like the mushrooms and stuff.
Well, that's a ceremonial herb. I'll call it a ceremonial herb. So microdosing, this herb is done or taken to access your subconscious.
Right, but there's been there's been studies that it also just helps, like, just on a regular basis for suppressing, like, well, if you have like anxiety or just to relax and stuff like that, similar to.
I wouldn't speak on it because I would have to test it first to speak on it. I've used it before, but I haven't tested in microdosing. But if you have good data, that might be a good thing.
Just this research I saw on YouTube of different doctors that spoke on it. I mean, I've taken shrooms as well for, like you said, opening up the subconscious or whatever. But I do see that people speak on like a healthy microdose of it. So
yeah, we would have to test it and see. Everybody's bodies are different, and our bodies respond to these things different too, based on genetic haplogroups and things like that. So I always like to limit myself from speaking on it unless we've done some type of testing or mock trials, whatever, and then did some diagnosis on people. But I'm willing to run a test on that, within the next few months, was get some people who want to do it and then give some feedback on it.
Hi, Chief.
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to, I was very late to the call, and I just want to make sure I'll be able to watch a recording of this for the information.
We'll edit this down tonight and have the recording up tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll send a notice out too, so just in case y'all missed the password to the TV page, y'all can get it and get a notice that it's up. What we did last week is already up, so y'all can access it.
Well, I was going to say, if you're doing testing on the mushrooms, like in 2015, I took like I fasted for like 3 days and took like a whole eighth of it, man. I can tell you my experience. Yeah.
Wow.
I can tell you my experience. But ever since I was learning not to take mushrooms, I never tried it again. I want to do like ayahuasca or something, so I never.
Right, yeah. Ayahuasca, shanga, psilocybin, solar grown cannabis. It's a lot of them, there are entheogens that are very healthy for the body that you can use for various ceremonial purposes. Some of them just nutrition, depending on which ones they are. But yeah, next time we do our trial, we can get you signed up, do these microdosing and collect the data. We probably only need like maybe 10 people.
What's the best way to stay connected on social media with the tribe? Do we have something on Instagram or something?
We have Indigenous Political Authority that we do some videos off of. So you can go to Indigenous Political Authority page. On IG, I mean, we don't do a lot of IG is not necessarily slated for group talk. My page on there, God Body OG. There's other nationals that have pages on IG. We have our group on Facebook, the ARNA group, ARNA Indigenous Government Group. We have the Aboriginal Global Media page on YouTube. What else? We have our own social media network that we designed. We just have to get that app back up. You know, we had an app, then we had the social media page, and other people were running it as far as nationals were running it, but they didn't keep up with it. So we just got to get some more dependable people as IT techs to run the app and stuff when we get it, which we have now. We just got to get the stuff up and running. But those are some of the ways we stay in contact on social media.
Brother Ali.
Yes, sir.
I have a brother from another mother he really wants to come on board, but I don't, being that I went through what I went through with the IONT thing, I didn't know if I should wait until I do this and then but he's ready to go like yesterday.
I mean, it's safe for him to go. I mean, if that's your man.
But I don't know if I have him, I want to connect him. He would be there Tuesday if I told him it's a go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you want to do is make sure that you got all your stuff in order, because if he see you in order, then everything else will flow good.
No, because I'm actually happy it happened, because I was trying to come in under you anyway. I didn't never want to go that route anyway in the first place. So, right. And he's pretty much the same way. I've been following you since way back, since 2000, early, 5, 6, early. Right. And you know, I went through some things, and I'm here now, but he's ready. He's been ready. So
yeah, if he's ready, you can guide him to the main website. We got total control over the main website, and he won't have none of those problems that they had at IOTN at all. That's dead. You know, we're not having.
I'll let him know. So look forward for that one too. He's a good warrior.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, God.
All right. Yeah.
All right, y'all got anything else for us? If not, I'm gonna save this video, and I know we got some extra work with some people. I gotta, be up all night.
Peace, Brother Ali. This is Sister Nicole.
Hey, how you doing, Sister Nicole?
All right. I'm not sure if you got my email or not, but Nakina reached out to me recently talking about some money for dues or fees or something.
What?
Yeah, I think she was reaching out to a whole bunch of people. The best thing I can tell y'all about Nakina is just ignore her. She and her husband ran Indigenous of the North. They were having personal problems that I was counseling them on that got dangerous. She took to social media to talk about those things. I was trying to stop her from doing that. And then in the most weird way that you could ever imagine, the week later, she was trying to kick me out of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild. So, she did what she did. She held the dues. We have all this stuff. We went through our court to deal with the scenario, gave them opportunity to state their case. They lost. She has a judgment against her for that amount of the money, which she never paid. And she was expatriated permanently because she's not from here. She's from Honduras. So what she's been doing since then is trying to get what she thinks is revenge. She never returned that money. to anybody that we know of in ARNA. If she did, she need to let us know. Then she came while she saw us dealing with these current dudes, saying that we're mishandling the people. Bruh. I mean, what can you say? Either she is the police or she lost her mind. And if she's police, she already lost her mind, so she still lost her mind. So
yeah,
I don't know what to say. You know, it's actually it's sad, you know, because it's children involved, it's all kind of other stuff involved, and
it's a learning experience
for everybody watching. And I'm just saying this to say to y'all, you know, when you get some level of authority or power, or you start making money, don't let the shit go to your head, because, you know, it's not important. What's important is 2 little children she have, her former husband, and herself. And she let everything else become important. And once you lose that kind of focus, you can injure people for a lifetime. You can injure children for a lifetime. You can injure other people for a lifetime. And we all make mistakes, but we all need to evaluate ourselves. And if we don't know all the mechanisms to help ourselves, we got people here. This is what this Rites of Passage is about. When other people come in and start talking about the things that can help you evaluate yourself, these are all tools to make us better people. And the one thing that this foundation is about being open, being transparent, and getting everybody on the same level of information, knowledge, whatever, so we can all win. Nobody is hating on her. And you know, some people might look at me weird for saying what I'm about to say. If she came tomorrow, apologized, made amends with the people that she injured, whatever, I would be cool with it. I wouldn't be necessarily cool with going against what the Jural Society recommended, but you know what I mean? Like, people are people. I don't know all the mechanisms that drove her to do all the things that she did, but I do know that some people choose that path. And if you choose that path, you got to eat everything on that path. And so anybody who might receive emails or communications from her, you can just block her or ignore whatever she's going through. She's just going through it. I don't even know what else to say at this point, you know. Yeah, it's just a sad situation.
Peace, brother. This is Catherine, Sister Catherine. I know this is old news, but I have to ask this question.
Sure.
This is about this vaccine thing.
Okay.
Now, if someone is vaccinated and they have a relationship with a vaccinated person, can that vaccinated person, I mean the unvaccinated person, get might as well be vaccinated?
Yeah, because they're sharing proteins, and in the sexual exchange, kissing, sex, they're sharing those things between each other. So
No matter if they got it 2 years ago.
Oh, it doesn't matter, because
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
it's affected your RNA and your DNA, so that doesn't matter.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, and if there's anybody in ARNA who made an error or mistake, who took that, please consult with us. We can help you. I wouldn't recommend anybody taking any vaccines at all. We don't have a policy where we advocate that, and we educate you on why. We don't group ourselves with anti-vaxxers who just say it. We are going to use as much scientific data as possible to relate to you about not taking those things. They're dangerous, and your body's immune system is enough when you're healthy, you take care of yourself.
Well, I bought the detox manual from you, and I've used it. Well, help other people rather. Now, if they use this, they still is vaccinated regardless. In other words, the vaccine, those spike proteins, you can't get rid of that. You can reduce it, but you can't get rid of it, correct?
This shit is not rocket science.
You can get rid of it. All right. It's synthetic and it needs the boosters to keep it going.
Oh.
All you have inside of you when you take that vaccination is an RNA machine that can produce something.
Mm-hmm.
What it is, we still don't know. But it's not strong enough if you're healthy to overcome you. You have to get healthy and stay healthy for a long period of time to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's soft tissue. So if you did it strong enough in 6 months, you can get it out of your body.
Because I have a lot of family members that have taken it, and I've read the book over and over, and I've tried to explain to them that no matter what, if like my aunt and uncle, you still keep on transmitting it back and forth to each other, no matter how much you're taking the hydrocortisone, pine needle, all this other stuff, and you still passing it back and forth. That's what I'm trying to tell them. So,
well, I mean, they can detox. That's my point. They don't have to keep passing it back and forth unless they keep taking boosters and eating bad and creating an environment so that it can proliferate. It will proliferate in a healthy body that uses those formulas, so they can stop it.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Question for the IPA website. I don't see it loading up. You got it.
Yeah, Ken sent me that message. I'm gonna check it after I get off of here because we had a situation with Aboriginal University website too. I fixed that one, but I'm gonna go back to it and see what's happening. I'm not sure, but I will fix it literally as soon as we get off of here because I know y'all have people y'all need to interact with.
All right, cool.
Yes, sir. Anything else, family, before we get off of here? Just some announcements. We'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We'll send the links out for that. We'll be back next Sunday as well. You got another basic training coming up in 2 weeks, so we want to get prepared for that. If you didn't do the first basic training, you have to do the basic training. It was a mile run or walk. It was jump ropes for sisters and brothers and push-ups. Something really simple, but it's going to work the body. All I'm going to say about exercise is your breath is the most important power. Learning to use your breath. It builds focus. It's going to reoxygenate the tissues in your body, help you get through the basic training. The idea is to exercise. All of us need to exercise and you need to do healthy exercise. And so if you haven't done that, you need to do it and email us the results. You don't have to video yourself. You just have to write down how long did it take you to do this mile? How long did it take you to do this push-ups? How long did it take you to do these jump rope, etc.
Great.
And send that to us. And we'll keep a record of it. And we'll have one last fitness test where you have to make your times to make sure everybody, makes their time in the right time. And yeah, all of us need to be exercising. Exercise is vital. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I was just curious, is the IG efficient as far as like when we're doing our exercises, like the shootout, to send?
Send the results?
Yes, sir. Like the right, just like filming yourself doing your push-ups, your jump.
Oh no, you don't have to film yourself. All you have to do is write down the results.
Okay.
And email them in. Email them in to amarushiali@gmail.com or here to arnanationals@gmail.com. And we'll just keep a record of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, God.
Yeah, yes, I am.
All right, how we doing? Good? If there are no more questions, we're gonna
I feel
sum
like
this
if I
up.
read something on the card, I probably would have got the fact that I shouldn't have gone out. At this point, that's how.
So I'm gonna mute y'all just for a second, just so we have background noise. We're done for today. I will edit this so that we get the main context, which was the dress codes and all of the information on that. We will be back on Tuesday at 8 p.m. You're gonna get emails prior to that about different things that are going on in society. And if you have questions or concerns or anything, please voice them to us. We want to address every concern, make sure everybody's on the same page, everybody is clear, everybody moving as one when it comes to the things that we do. And we want to get through this rites of passage and then get everybody focused on their family, their economics, their health, and whatever other strategies that we have out here that we're working with each other on. The most important thing I could say is learn how to unify and work together so that we can all improve our families. We are not here to do anything else but that. That's important to us. The other stuff is not important. You know what I mean? If there has been any injury in the past, it's not because ARNA is a bad place. It's because we had people in it who weren't following protocol or weren't doing things that they were supposed to do. And we have that from time to time, but when we do have that, we have to fix it. And we have everything in place to fix those things. I just want y'all to get everything that y'all supposed to get out of this experience with us coming together. And that's what's gonna happen. So we are done for today. I'm gonna save this, I'll edit this up, and we'll make sure that this goes up on the main website so you can review it. And that is all, family. So enjoy your evening. I'm about to go to the next phase of work. If y'all need anything, just let us know. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace, family.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.